Hi, everybody. Thanks for listening. I'm Jenny. I'm a life coach. And today I'm talking about why INFJs don't want kids. First of all, don't ever ask someone why they don't have kids, okay? You have no idea what the reason is, but I can guarantee you it's a good reason. And it's also none of your business, okay? They could have had a miscarriage. They could be struggling with infertility. Okay, and if you ask that question and you're embarrassed by the answer, you honestly deserve it, okay? Because you shouldn't be asking it. But today, no one is asking. I'm just here to tell you why a lot of INFJs don't want kids. This is nothing against INFJs who are parents. INFJs make really amazing parents for the most part. And this is nothing against those INFJs who are parents. These are just some of the reasons why INFJs who don't have kids don't have kids. And so one of the reasons INFJs don't have kids is because we like kids and we don't want to ruin it. A lot of parents out there are honestly not making parenting look very fun or even half enjoyable. Okay. We're looking at these parents and we're watching how they're interacting with their kids and their spouses. And we're thinking, you know what? That really does not look like a life that I want. That does not look enjoyable at all. And I want nothing to do with it. I like kids. I don't want to end up being frustrated with them all the time or talking to them like that. And we have, really sensitive nervous systems. We are highly sensitive, and we have a very easily drainable battery. So it's pretty easy to see how kids would drain that battery, and we would start to lose patience with them, and we would start treating them in ways that we don't want to. And so we like kids and we want to keep liking kids, which means we don't want to have to be around them all the time. Okay. And like I said, we're highly sensitive people. We need a lot of alone time. We need a lot of peace and quiet. We need a lot of sleep in order to just function as a calm, balanced human. We're highly sensitive people. The thing about highly sensitive people is small inconveniences have a huge effect on us, but healthy habits also have a huge effect on us. Small things, good or bad, have a huge effect on us. And so, even losing a little bit of sleep has a huge effect on us. Getting the right amount of sleep has a huge effect on us. And so it's very, very important for us to be able to maintain things like our sleep and our having a nice quiet space and things like that. And children, it makes those things very difficult. I'm not even going to get into the physical burden of creating a child for women. But for that to not even cross people's minds is kind of bizarre to me. I mean, the physical toll on your body is enough to not want kids. Like, the physical toll on your body alone is enough to not want kids. And it seems like everyone is just like oblivious to that or in denial of that or ignores that. It's a huge toll on your body. And it takes years to heal from that. Years to heal, years to fully heal. INFJs, we're still reclaiming our childhoods a lot of the times. We are usually very serious. We have trouble relaxing. We have trouble being playful. Those are all symptoms of not really having a fulfilling childhood. Okay, a lot of us were robbed of the opportunity to just be children. We were caretaking parents. We were caretaking siblings. We were, worried about other people's emotions, which is not fair for a child. Children are not supposed to be therapizing adults or providing emotional support for adults. But that's usually why we're so good at it, is because we had to learn to do it from a very young age. And we were also a lot of the times robbed of the time to be children. We were forced, to play sports or forced to study more and do homework all the time or go to religious after school programs. We were not given time to just be children. And so there's this sense of this lost time that a lot of INFJs have. And as adults, they're busy reclaiming that time. And you can't reclaim that time if you're busy raising children. We're busy reparenting ourselves. We are not raising children because we are busy reparenting ourselves. This is especially true of oldest daughters. Oldest daughters very often are unfairly expected to help raise their younger siblings, and so they don't get a chance to be children. Parents are also supposed to have more help than they do. Humans are supposed to live in tight-knit tribal communities. We do not. We live in very isolated communities. We have to pay for basic services like childcare. In a tribal community, that's just built in. It's not a place where you have to go and pay money. It's just built in. In tight-knit tribal communities, everyone lives very close to each other within walking distance. Okay, there's grandparents around to help. There's other wise old people around to help who have already raised children and already know what they're doing. But in today's society, we're missing a lot of that wisdom in the older generation a lot of the time. Not always, but often. And it takes a lifetime. It takes a lifetime for adults to gain the wisdom that we needed as children. Biologically, humans are designed to start having kids when you're a teenager. Socially, that's not acceptable. It's kind of viewed as a pretty bad idea. If it's something that happens or something that you choose to do, it's pretty taboo and looked down on. But biologically, that's when our bodies are designed to start reproducing. Mentally, we're not really mature enough yet, okay? But biologically, we are. Our bodies are. And in those tight-knit tribal communities, that's okay, because there's older people around who do have the wisdom to help raise those children. So the younger generations are making them, the older generations are helping to raise them. And that happens a lot less in modern society. The school system is another reason I have, okay? The school system sucks. Okay, these poor kids, okay, not only are they graded on their assignments, which makes them, gives them really dysfunctional behavior around perfectionism and around failure, okay, this grading system. But they're also given these deadlines. So not only do they have to get things done perfectly, they have to get things done perfectly by a deadline. That's not realistic. You can get things done by a deadline, or you can get things done perfectly. You normally have to choose between one or the other. And the school system is designed to make kids feel like they have to do both. Not to mention all the other problems with the school system. Okay, way too much homework. When do they have time to be kids? When do they have time to be kids? Okay, they're in school all day, like 8 hours or something. That's way too long for kids to be sitting inside. Kids are supposed to be outside playing. And then you send them home and they have homework to do. It's just inhumane. So the school system is completely broken and toxic. But guess what? If we don't want to send our kids to school, then we have to homeschool them. That's in direct conflict with our needs. As INFJs, we need a lot of alone time. And now we're busy being teachers, if you're talking about homeschooling. So that's another reason INFJs don't want kids. Another reason is even if we do a good job raising them, even if we somehow raise them without messing them up, they still have to deal with everyone else's screw-ups, and everyone is screwing up. There are so many people who are screwing up parenting. The people who are the least cautious about having kids and who are the most irresponsible in other areas of their life are also the ones who, guess what, are having children. And this is nothing against those children, you know. Kids with adverse experiences can still grow up to be amazing people, but a lot of others can grow up to be narcissists. And then our kids end up having to deal with those kids. And so it's just impossible to protect them. And the way society is right now, it's just, you know, the jobs are terrible. The jobs are not conducive to healthy balance. Same with school. School is terrible. School is not conducive to healthy balance. It's just not a world that we want to bring our kids into, okay? Narcissism is everywhere. That is so common. I really don't think we're overusing the word like a lot of people say. I think we're just more aware of it. And, you know, we don't have tight-knit communities. We're very isolated. So this all plays into each other. The planet is not healthy right now, and it's not a world that we want to bring our kids into. We also don't want to pass along generational trauma, okay? If we were hurt, a lot of INFJs, even if they can't pinpoint how their parents messed up, they still have this vague sense that something is wrong with how they were raised, and this vague sense of fear that they're going to pass that on to their children. And generational trauma is very obvious to us. We see it in our parents, right? We can tell that our parents maybe did love us and maybe did have good intentions and still passed on a lot of their trauma, a lot of their unhealed trauma to us. And that's just a fear that we will go and then do the same thing. So if you want to be a good parent, my advice is to go to therapy. All parents, I think, should go to therapy, in my opinion. But we, as INFJs, have this fear, so much fear for these hypothetical children, more care for these hypothetical children than a lot of real parents have for their own children, okay? And another reason that INFJs don't have kids is because we're busy raising our partners. A lot of INFJs choose very unhealed partners, and we're so busy raising these partners that we don't have the time or the energy to also raise a child along with them, okay? A lot of INFJs do not want to raise a child by themselves, and that goes for INFJs who are actually alone, and that goes for INFJs who just feel alone in their relationships. They know that most of the burden is going to fall on them, and they're already overloaded taking care of their partner. So that's all I have for today. If you have anything to add, please leave a comment. If you liked this video, please subscribe, hit the notification bell to be updated about future videos, and I'll be back soon. Thanks, everybody.